Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start the revision of general bacteriology. As you know, your syllabus is finished. स्टूडेंट्स एक बार बच्चों मुझे आपसे ये भी करनी थी कि आप लोग मुझे ये ज़रूर बता दो कौन सा एरिया आपका वीक है so that we can arrange those lectures. ओके जो टॉपिक्स आपको लगता है कि आपको दोबारा से समझने चाहिए वो आप मुझे जो है व्हाट्सएप कर दो और हम जो है वो दोबारा से उनको उन टॉपिक्स को डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके बेटा. In general bacteriology, the growth and genetics of bacteria is very important. And today we will start with the growth. As you know that bacteria reproduce by the binary fission and one parent cell divides to form two progeny cells. And the replication of the bacteria are very different from the viruses, and bacteria reproduce by simply by the binary fission. One parent cell divides to form two progeny cells. But in viruses, the replication is very different, and it is, as you know, as we studied the replicative cycle of the viruses, uh, how the DNA viruses are converted into the DNA viruses, and how there are some RNA viruses which replicates by the reverse transcriptase enzyme. So the replication of the viruses is very different, but the bacteria are actually the replication of the bacteria or the reproduction of bacteria is simply by the binary fission. As one cell gives rise to two progeny cells, bacteria are said to undergo exponential growth. What is the exponential growth? One bacterial cell will divide into the two bacterial cells, and then if the two bacterial cells will then divide into the uh, um, four bacterial cells. So this is the exponential growth. First of all, one will convert into the two, and then two will convert into four, and four will convert into eight bacterial cells, and eight will convert into 16 bacterial cells. This is the exponential growth. One bacterium will produce 16 bacteria after 4 generations. This is the binary fission. This is the one bacterial cell, and it will divide by binary fission. One bacterial cell will divide into two bacterial cells. What is the doubling time or the generation time? 20 minutes. Doubling time or the generation time is actually the time when required for one bacteria to double its generation. So the doubling time of E. coli is 20 minutes. For example, the number of bacteria or the number of E. coli organisms required for producing the bloody diarrhea is 1 million. So the doubling time is the time which is required for the 1 million bacteria to convert themselves into double the number. So this is the doubling time. 20 minutes for the E. coli, more than 24 hours for the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and doubling time is actually related to the rate of the infection. So doubling time of the Mycobacteria tuberculosis is 24 hours. It is very prolonged. So it requires some time for the Mycobacterium tuberculosis to cause signs and symptoms. E. coli organisms will produce 1,000 progeny in about 3 hours and over 1 million in about 7 hours. It varies with the species, the amount of nutrients, the temperature, the pH, and other environmental factors. This is the growth curve. First of all, there will be lag phase. The lag phase is the phase in which the vigorous metabolic activity occurs but cells will not divide. This can last for a few minutes to up to many hours. Then comes to the log phase. Log phase is the phase in which the bacteria will divide rapidly. When rapid cell division occurs, the beta-lactam drugs such as penicillin acts during this phase because the drugs are effective when cells are making peptidoglycans, for example, when they are uh, 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 dividing. So first of all, there will be lag phase. In the lag phase, there will be only metabolic activity, but cells will not divide. Cells are are preparing themselves for the division. So there will be increased metabolic activity, but there will be no division of the cells. Cells are preparing themselves for the division. It can last a few minutes to many hours, and then it is followed by the log phase. Log phase is the phase when there will be rapid cell division. Actually, in the log phase, the bacterial cell division occurs. First of all, the lag phase, in which the cells prepare themselves for the division, and then the log phase, in which there will be rapid cell division. And as I told you when we started the antimicrobials, that during the log phase, the penicillins will act, because at that time the cell walls of the bacteria is going to make, and actually uh, penicillins will act on the peptidoglycan cell layer. Penicillins will block the synthesis of the peptidoglycan cell layer. So penicillins will only act during the log phase. Then comes the stationary phase. Stationary phase is the phase when the nutrient depletion, when there will be nutrient depletion, or the toxic products cause growth to slow until the number of new cells produced balances the number of cells that died, resulting in a steady state. So after a phase of the rapid cell division, there will be stationary phase. In the stationary phase, there will be nutrient depletion, and the number of cells, new cells are produced. Number of new cells produced equals to the number of cells that die during the steady phase. So इस phase में बेटा क्या है, number of cells that are dividing are uh, equal to the number of cells that are dying. So this is the stationary phase. Then comes the decline phase. Decline phase will be the phase in which there will be marked um, uh, uh, there will be marked um, decline in the number of the viable bacteria or the number of the bacteria that are dividing. So number of bacteria that are dividing is decline. So this is the decline phase. So first of all, there will be lag phase, then comes the log phase, then comes the stationary phase, and then the decline phase. अब आप इस curve को देखें बेटा. This is the lag phase. A is the representative of the lag phase. In the lag phase, the bacteria are preparing themselves for the division, but they will not divide themselves. In the log phase, which is indicated by B, there will be rapid cell division. The bacteria are dividing during this phase, and penicillins will only act during this phase, because during the division, the new bacterial cells are going to be made, and the new cell membranes of the bacterial cells will be made, and during that time they will block the synthesis of the peptidoglycan cell layer. They will not act on the lag phase, on the stationary phase. They will only act on the dividing cells. This is the C is the representative of the stationary phase. In the stationary phase, there will be nutrient depletion because of the rapid cell division. अब nutrients जो है वो बहुत कम हो गए हैं, and the number of cells that are dividing are equal to the number of cells that are dying. And in the decline, D is representative of the decline phase. There will be rapid cell, the bacterial cells will die rapidly, and there will be no cell division. So this is the growth curve of bacteria. Now comes the aerobic and anaerobic growth. For most of the organisms, an adequate supply of oxygen enhances the metabolism and growth. For most of the organisms, we require oxygen for the growth or the metabolism. So oxygen acts as a hydrogen acceptor in the final steps of the energy production, catalyzed by the cytochrome. Because of the use of the oxygen rates, two toxic molecules, hydrogen peroxide and the free radical superoxide. Bacteria requires two enzymes to utilize the oxygen. First is superoxide dismutase, and the second is catalase. So some of the organisms require oxygen for their growth or their survival, and due to the consumption of the oxygen, there will be production of the two toxic molecules, that are hydrogen peroxide and radical superoxide. So they will require two enzymes to utilize the oxygen. First is superoxide dismutase and second is catalase. So superoxide dismutase will actually catalyze this reaction. And the second is catalase. First of all, the oxygen will react with the hydrogen receptors and there will be production of the hydrogen peroxide and oxygen will be released. And in the second step, the hydrogen peroxide will be converted into water and oxygen. So this hydrogen peroxide will be degraded because this is actually toxic. So these enzymes will result in the um, uh, these enzymes will result in the degradation of the toxic molecules, which are, because hydrogen peroxide is very toxic for the cells, it can lead to the death of the cell. So when the bacteria will utilize the oxygen, यहाँ पे जब बैक्टीरिया ऑक्सीजन की यूटिलाइज करेंगे, there will be production of the hydrogen peroxide, which is, or the free radicals, which are very toxic to the cells. So superoxide dismutase and catalase will catalyze these reactions, and these hydrogen peroxide will be converted into water and oxygen, and so this oxygen will be utilized. Classification of bacteria according to the oxygen requirement. First of all, there will be obligate anaerobes. As I told you, the obligate anaerobes means obligate means necessary. So the obligate aerobes are those organisms that require oxygen for their growth. The oxygen is necessary for their growth. Obligate aerobes require oxygen to do growth because their ATP generating system is dependent on oxygen as a hydrogen receptor. So obligate aerobes require oxygen for their growth. The oxygen requirement is necessary for their growth. Then comes the facultative anaerobe. Facultative anaerobes utilizes oxygen to generate energy by respiration if it is present, but they can use the fermentation pathways to synthesize ATP in the absence of the sufficient oxygen. Facultative anaerobes can grow in the absence and in the presence of oxygen, but they can grow better in the absence of oxygen. So facultative aerobes or the facultative anaerobes are the organisms that can survive in the presence of oxygen and in the absence of oxygen as well. But facultative anaerobes will grow better in the absence of oxygen, whereas facultative aerobes will grow better in the presence of oxygen. Then comes the obligate anaerobes. So obligate anaerobes are the organisms that will not require oxygen and they will only grow in the absence of oxygen. So obligate anaerobes are those organisms that will grow only in the absence of oxygen. They cannot grow in the presence of oxygen because they lack either superoxide dismutase or catalase or both. They will not grow in the presence of oxygen because they lack those enzymes that are required to for the growth, for the utilization of the oxygen, like superoxide dismutase or catalase. If they are insufficient for in these two enzymes, they will not uh, degrade the hydrogen peroxide and ultimately resulting in the death of the cells. तो ये दो जो एंजाइम्स हैं ये ऑब्लिगेट एनारोब्स में मिसिंग होते हैं एंड बेटा जब ये दो एंजाइम्स नहीं होंगे हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड कैन नॉट बी डिग्रेडेड एंड it results in the death of the cell. So they cannot grow in the presence of oxygen because they lack those enzymes. And as you know, for the survival of the organism and for the utilization of the oxygen, these two enzymes are required because when the organism utilizes oxygen, The oxygen will convert into hydrogen peroxide, which is toxic to the cells, and these two enzymes are required to degrade the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen, the free oxygen. Obligate anaerobes vary in their response to oxygen exposure. Some can survive but are not able to grow, whereas others are killed rapidly. Then comes the microaerophils. They survive in the environment where the concentration of oxygen is relatively low. Now comes the capnophiles. Capno means smoke that require an atmosphere low in oxygen and rich in carbon dioxide. The organisms are Neisseria and Streptococcus. Then comes the acidophiles. Acidophiles are the acid-tolerant bacteria like Lactobacillus. They grow in the presence of the acidic environment. Then comes the halophiles. Halophiles are the organisms that require high levels of salt to survive. Now comes the fermentation of the sugars. The identification of several important pathogens on the fermentation of certain sugars. We can identify several important human pathogens on the basis of the fermentation of the sugars. Like Neisseria gonorrhoeae and Neisseria meningitis can be distinguished from each other on the basis of fermentation of either glucose or malt. आपको पता है बेटा जब हम नाइसीरिया को डायग्नोज करते हैं उसकी लैब डायग्नोसिस में तो हम फर्मेंटेशन देखते हैं Neisseria gonorrhoeae and Neisseria meningitis can be distinguished on the basis of the fermentation of either glucose or maltose. Like just like E. coli can be differentiated from Salmonella and Shigella on the basis of the fermentation of lactose. Fermentation. What is fermentation? It is a breakdown of the sugar such as glucose or maltose to pyruvic acid and then usually to the lactic acid. Also called glycolytic cycle, and this is the process by which the facultative bacteria generate ATP in the absence of oxygen. So the facultative anaerobes will produce the energy in the absence of oxygen by glycolytic cycle. They will actually break down the sugar and the sugar will be break down to lactic acid. Classification of bacteria according to the temperature requirement. First of all, there will be psychrophiles. Psychro means cold. The optimal growth rate below 15 degrees Celsius, but they can grow at 0 to 20 degrees Celsius. So the optimal temperature is 15 degrees and they can grow better in the cold environment. Then comes the thermophiles. Thermophiles means the bacteria that can grow in the heat. They are best grown in the heat. They multiply best at temperature around 60 degrees Celsius, but they can still multiply from 40 to 70 degrees Celsius. For example, contaminants in the dairy products, they can grow better in the hot environment. Then comes the hyperthermophiles. Hyperthermophiles grow optimally above 80 degrees Celsius. For example, the organisms that are isolated from the seawater. Then comes the mesophiles. Mesophiles means meso means middle, and they survive at the middle temperature ranges from 10 to 45 degrees Celsius. Now comes the genetics of the bacteria, which is very important. The genetics of bacteria is very important. First of all, there are two definitions. Genotype. What is genotype and what is phenotype? Genotype is actually the genetic makeup or genetic plan of an organism. Then comes the phenotype. Phenotype actually refers to the physical appearance. It refers to the cellular physical appearance and the cell function. Mutation. Any change in the cellular DNA itself is called mutation. If there will be any change in the genetics or any chemical change in the cellular DNA, it is called mutation. A change in the base sequence of the DNA that usually results in insertion of a different amino acid into protein and the appearance of an altered phenotype. And mutation is a change in the base sequence. Beta base sequence hota hai na, and there will be change in the base sequence of DNA that will result in an altered amino acid. जो कि the base sequence different होगा तो new amino acid बनेगा, different amino acid बनेगा. जब different amino acid बनेगा तो different protein बनेगी. So any change in the base sequence of the DNA is usually results in the insertion of a different amino acid and different protein, and there will be different the appearance of the and cell will be different. So any change or any chemical change in the cellular DNA is called mutation. There are different types of mutation. First of all, the base substitution. When one base is inserted in place of another, it takes place at the time of the DNA replication. Base substitution means one base is inserted in place of another. एक बेस की जगह दूसरी बेस आके इंसर्ट हो जाए, इसे कहते हैं बेस सब्स्टिट्यूशन. ठीक है. When the base substitution results in the codon, that simply causes a different amino acid to be inserted. The mutation is called missense mutation. अब बेटा क्या है कि बेसिस जितनी भी हैं आपकी, उनमें अगर एक बेस की जगह दूसरी बेस आके लग जाए, there will be base substitution. Then there will be different codon. The base different हो जाएगी बेटा, the codon will be different, and when the codon will be different, there will be altered protein. So this is called the missense mutation. Missense mutation means the uh, base which is inserted is not the actual base, and the base substitution results in the codon that simply causes a different amino acid. So base different आगे जब लग जाएगी बेटा, that the codon will be different. The codon will be different, then there will be different amino acid. So this is called the missense mutation. For example, the glycine is replaced by alanine, for example, or the glycine will be cytosine will be replaced by glycine. So there, if the different amino acid will be inserted, तो क्या होगा बेटा, codon different हो जाएगा. When the codon will be different, there will be different amino acid. So this is called the missense mutation. Now comes the nonsense mutation. When the base substitution generates a termination codon, when accidentally the base substitution results in the termination codon. जब base substitution हुई और उसकी वजह से जो codon होगा, it will be a termination codon. जब base substitution की वजह से termination codon generate हो जाए, it actually stops the protein synthesis. So this is called the nonsense mutation. When the base substitution generates a termination codon that stops protein synthesis prematurely, the mutation is called nonsense mutation. Then comes the deletion mutation. It removes the segment of DNA. सबसे पहले तो हमने बेस सब्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ा ना बेटा. बेस सब्स्टिट्यूशन में पहले मैंने आपको क्या बताया कि जो मिससेंस म्यूटेशन है उसमें क्या है कि एक बेस की जगह दूसरी बेस आके लगी और डिफरेंट अमाइनो एसिड की प्रोडक्शन हुई. दिस इज कॉल्ड द मिससेंस म्यूटेशन. And in the nonsense mutation, if the base substitution results in the termination codon, it will stop the protein synthesis prematurely. It is called nonsense mutation. Now comes the deletion mutation. Deletion mutation में क्या हुआ? The segment ही DNA का remove हो गया. ठीक है? Then comes the inversion mutation. It reverses the order of the segment of DNA. Order है ना बेटा जो segment of DNA का, it is reversed. So the order of the segment of DNA is when it is reversed, it is called the inversion mutation. Then comes the transposition mutation. It moves the segment of DNA to a different position on the genome. अब क्या है, ट्रांसपोजिशन म्यूटेशन में एक सेगमेंट डीएनए का जो है वो मूव कर जाता है पूरा का पूरा सेगमेंट इनटू अ डिफरेंट पोजीशन. दिस इज कॉल्ड द ट्रांसपोजिशन म्यूटेशन. It is not actually the amino acid. It is actually the segment of DNA which will move from one place to another or one position to a different position. Now comes the frame shift mutations. When one or more base pairs are added or deleted, which shifts the reading frame on the ribosomes, results in the incorporation of the wrong amino acid downstream from the mutation, and it results in the production of an inactive protein. बेटा अब इसमें क्या है कि when one or more base pairs are added, अब एक से ज्यादा या एक से ज्यादा base pairs जब add हुए या delete हुए वहां से, it will result in the incorporation of the wrong amino acid downstream during protein synthesis, and it will result in an inactive protein. वो protein बना देंगे जो कि inactive है, जो function नहीं कर सकती. This is frame shift mutation. बेटा आप सब कुछ पढ़ चुके हुए हो, आप टेस्ट दे चुके हो इसका, ठीक है. Now comes the transposons or the insertion sequences. Transposons are very important. इसकी definition आपसे पूछी जाती है. This is the third type of mutation. Transposons or the insertion sequences are integrated into the DNA. The new inserted piece of DNA can cause profound changes in the genes into which they insert. And transposons is also called jump. Now, there are different causes of the mutation. Some are chemical. Chemical causes can be nitrous acid and alkylating agents. They can cause the alteration of the bases. 5-bromouracil, benzpyrene, which is found in the tobacco smoke, which can result in the frame shift mutations. X-rays and ultraviolet radiations and certain viruses, they can cause the mutation. Now comes the conditional lethal mutations. What is the word conditional means? The word conditional indicates that the mutation is expressed only under certain conditions. So, mutation कब हो रही है? Under certain conditions. This is called the conditional lethal mutation. The most important conditional lethal mutations are the temperature sensitive ones. Example of the conditional lethal mutant of the medical importance is the strain of influenza virus used in the experimental vaccine. So, इसमें क्या है बेटा? Mutation. The conditional mutation indicates the mutation that is expressed only under certain conditions, and these are sometimes the temperature sensitive one. अब जो हम इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस में बेटा उसका स्ट्रेन यूज करते हैं, उसमें क्या होता है कि एक्चुअली इट इज द लीथल example of the conditional lethal mutant of the medical importance is the strain of influenza virus used in the experimental vaccine. उसमें क्या है बेटा, जो mutations होती हैं during the experimental vaccine, it can result in the less virulent strain. वैक्सीन के अंदर जो हम इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस के वैक्सीन के अंदर जो स्ट्रेन यूज करते हैं इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस का, इट इज नॉट लीथल टू द organisms. It can only produce the cell mediated immunity. So it is actually the temperature sensitive one. How the transfer of DNA takes place within the bacterial cells. Transposons. Transposons are very, very important. Transposon is a sequence of DNA that can move to new positions within the genome of a single cell. It is a sequence of DNA that can move from one position to another position. Transposons transfer DNA from one side of the bacterial chromosome to another side. अगर एक bacterial chromosome पे जहाँ पे एक sequence लगा हुआ है वो उठा के वो दूसरी जगह पे attach कर देगा. It can transfer DNA from one chromosome to another chromosome, or from the one chromosomal site to another site. It synthesizes a copy of the DNA and insert copy to another site in the bacterial chromosome. Transfer of DNA within bacteria also occurs by program rearrangement. And transposons are also called the jumping gene. Okay, better transfer of the DNA between different bacterial cells. First of all, conjugation, transformation, and transduction. We will discuss these in our tomorrow's lecture, inshallah. और आप तो बेटा ये पढ़ के आइए. Okay. Now I will ask some questions from you. Are you people listening? Wajiha, roll number 22095. Wajiha Tariq. Wajiha Tariq. Wajiha, kindly tell me about the nonsense mutations. What are nonsense mutations? Okay, hijab Fatma. Tell me about the nonsense mutations. What are nonsense mutations? Hijab Fatma, what is nonsense mutation? Excuse me. I am asking from Hijab Fatma. से क्लाइंट बेटा आपसे नहीं पूछा मैंने. Hijab, are you here? Nurul and Khalid, you are marking your attendance. Okay, tell me about the frame shift mutations. What are frame shift mutations? Nurul and what are frame shift mutations, बच्चे? So you people are not listening. Anyone here who can tell me about the frame shift mutations? Thank you.
The type of mutation.
कौन बोल रहा है बोलो बेटा.
Ma'am, it's a type of mutation. One or more base pair is added, which results in incorporation of a wrong amino acid, जो actually inactive protein बनाते हैं.
Very good. Very good. कौन बोल रहा है बेटा? हमना?
Yes, ma'am. हमना.
Okay. Thank you.